Call the meeting to order. Pledge your allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Commissioner Cadwalder,
I'm here.
Commissioner Barker,
Here.
Commissioner Chambers,
Here.
Commissioner Gerard,
Here.
Commissioner Salzweedl,
Here.
Commissioner Teelander,
Here.
and Chair Zanstra is absent.
I make a motion to excuse Chair Jasmine from tonight's meeting.
I'll second that. Okay. Approval of the agenda.
You need to
Oh,
vote on
vote on the
previous motion,
all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Okay, now we have approval of the agenda.
A motion that we approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Okay, approval of the meeting minutes for the previous meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, public comments and communications concerning items not on the agenda. Jim?
Thank you. No.
Old business? 2016 goals, priorities? Anything you want to do?
Well,
Everybody got their,
yeah, I mean, if I may, the three items under old business kind of are all under the same umbrella of things to talk about, so I guess my suggestion would be to sort of tackle these as one sort of item. At the previous meeting, you guys talked about looking at, maybe your top three things that you want to work on or get accomplished, or topics you want to focus on, so that's really letter B on the agenda, but it was part of the same discussion with goals and priorities, so we can probably sort of wrap that up in one conversation and then discuss how we move forward.
okay, I got one question on zoning. Do we have anything for rooftop stuff? Is there any zoning for rooftops?
Give me an example of what you're thinking
They
about.
got darn near volleyball set up on top of a roof down here.
There's not anything in the ordinance as far as like the use of rooftops.
Yeah, that's what I
Rooftops
was
I can think of. There is some language in there, I think, that talks about rooftop mechanical equipment and things like that. But if there's, I guess if there's an instance where someone's using the rooftop for some sort of activity that wasn't permitted, we could talk about it, but without knowing what the specifics are, it'd be hard to delve into exactly what
Just
should
didn't know
or
if there
should not
wasn't
be.
anything established at all.
Yeah, I mean, they would still have to comply with your typical, noise and those kinds of things. If they're, they're not here, not in other communities, there have been, issues where folks have wanted to use the rooftop of a building for, not recreational, but, sort of retail type purposes or outdoor dining kind of things. And there have been some noise concerns and things like that. So if there's an issue, we could deal with it, but it's hard to say exactly what.
There's no issue, I've just noticed it and wondered if we had anything in place for it in the future.
Not to my knowledge, in the zoning ordinance that I've come across. I don't know if there's any other ordinance the city has that might deal with that.
I know in Chicago, there's a ton of rooftop uses from gardens to, patios for everybody that rents there, and then a couple got a couple bars on the commercial side of it where they're serving food outdoors in the patio, so.
Maybe we should look into it. Not gonna suggest anything. So should we go over the top three? Anybody got something?
At the previous meeting, you guys had just sort of agreed to kind of go through what I wrote back in April and just sort of review and make some notes and come up with sort of your short list of what was important. So I guess, you know, we have some, what's that?
Should we go through each one of us then, or how do you want to do it? Start on Bruce, I guess, did you come up with something?
Yes, there, on the back of your notes today, actually, there was an email that I had sent out, and my recommendation on this is on the zoning ordinance audit more than anything. And to look at chapters 4 and 7, basically to look at chapters 4 and 17, and a lot of the wording and language issues, and also the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act issues, to let Andy do those, since we don't have any expertise necessarily in those fields. And he would. It seems to me to make the most sense to do that. And I would leave definitions to last, but I would look at chapters 4 and 17, probably the hardest. And I think somebody did a really nice, I guess, Gerard's, I believe you did the matrix there, if you want to call it that, but I think he really laid it out relatively well for us as to kind of the highs and lows and what people want. So my recommendation, again, I'm the newbie here, but I would highly recommend 4 and 17 to be looked at first. A zoning map, certainly an update to the zoning map, a current update, would allow us to look at the districts, you know, in the future. But we need I think we need a map for that before we actually do the look at the actual.
Are we in the process of doing a map?
I think so.
Yeah, we have an up-to-date map that's done. Those revisions were completed and everything was updated when we passed that River's Edge overlay district. So there is a complete map. I do have to get, you know, large scale and print it so we can hang it up here. And I can send you all PDFs and we can print them out for you as well. So you'll have things that will be perfectly up to date and as accurate as we can possibly make them.
I think that's a really good step to looking at the districts.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, otherwise we're kind of looking at something we don't know. You know?
Yeah, we gotta go with it.
Right, exactly. So those are my suggestions anyway.
Go right on down the line.
I had chapter 4, chapter 17 also, but I also had chapter 15, 16, number 7. I don't know why that one stuck with me, but we were going through things with Andy. It just kind of stuck, and it just seemed kind of different and weird.
Yeah.
I missed the last meeting, but I think I'm in agreement with 4.
Okay. 4 seems to be the one everybody wants to do. Should we just start with that one?
Yeah, I mean, we can certainly just take a look at the whole chapter. I mean, Jim, do you have any?
No, I agree with that, because last week I asked, or last meeting, I should say last week, when we talked about it, I just wanted to make sure we were going to cover 1 through 6 in chapter 4, and it wasn't a specific 1 or 2 in chapter 4, so we could look at putting that to bed regards if it's a high or low standard, and just keep on with it.
It seems everybody, what do we do, Don, just start, try it out?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want, I can go through all of chapter 4 and just start making revisions, and I have the whole thing digitally, so I can just add, I guess, my suggestions as far as language goes. Most of it, outside of the 6 or so items on the list, I'll leave alone to some degree or another. Some of the sections are going to be a little more involved than some of the other ones. I do have, like for example, in my audit, I'm on page 2, at the bottom of the page number 4, where it talks about section 4.13 that talks about non-conforming uses. It's a great topic. I mean, it's not particularly interesting, but it's important. And it's something that I rely on a lot, and that Sue relies on a lot as well, when people have questions and can I do this or can't I do that? Why can't I do that? Why can this guy do it but I can't do it? And all these things that come up in these administrative sort of issues. So that's a section that we'll probably make fairly significant revisions to. Other ones will just be adding a sentence here or there. But yeah, I guess my suggested way to start would just be to have me take a crack at it and give it to you guys. And then you can, mark up and redline what I do as you see fit. If there's something that maybe I haven't addressed, or maybe I give something to you that is too strict in some regard, you can tell me to, no, we don't want to do that, but let's think about this a different way. So that's typically a way that works, I think, at least from my perspective, and it maximizes the efficiency at which my time is being used. So I just do it, and then we just go through a couple of iterations until you guys are comfortable with it, and then we make a recommendation to council.
Everybody sound good with that?
Absolutely. I'd certainly be on board with that, but a couple of questions. There might be a few things that are kind of easy, like page numbering. Would it make any sense to address page numbering even though you might not address the text?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know that page numbering is something that we even need to really incorporate into the actual, an update where we have council pass it, because it's not,
Right.
it's not a regulation, it's just a reference point. Just like if we updated the table of contents, we wouldn't worry about sending it to council, it's just a reference tool. So to answer your question, yeah, page numbering throughout the document, we could certainly update that.
It seems like
not-
a pretty easy fix, and
Yeah.
it is a reference tool.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that would be really easy to do throughout the entire document. And there might be some other things too as we work through this outside of chapter 4 is as Bruce said, for example, you sometimes we might make some changes to chapter 4 that'll also affect definitions of certain terms. Or because we're, like if we talk about home occupation, for example, which is something that is in chapter 4, there's probably going to be a definition for that, and we're going to want to make sure that that definition is consistent with the act. So in those instances, we'll be updating more than one chapter probably, but the stuff like page numbering and all that, yeah, we can just do it, and I think it'll be fine.
Okay. So, we'll go on from this then, we're gonna do that next week or next month, not next week. So we can close out old business and move on?
Yeah, I think so. I will, I'll just get you basically a draft of a new version of chapter 4 for your next meeting, and you can review it and kind of go from there.
All right, sounds good. Any other comments with that? All good? All right, on to new business. Don't see nothing. Staff report?
The only information that I have for staff reports is we just have a few more houses that are going in the Highland Hill area.
Yeah, it's looking better up there. Coming up. All right, commissioner remarks? Number 9, anybody?
I don't have any.
I have no comments.
Okay.
With that, I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:12.
Support?
Sounds good. We're done. All in favor?
Yes.
No? We're good. Out of here.